Hello there YouTube, it's me TFNation Wilderness. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my end of month bot haul video. Well, actually it's the first of two end of month bot haul videos I'm going to be doing. The reason being is because it's August. I went to TFNation, bought a buttload of stuff as usual, and so I've got a massive haul this month, and because I didn't want to do a singular video where I went through everything that I got, I've decided to split it down the middle and split the video into part one and part two. I have done something like this before. If you go way back to my first year in 2014 when I went to auto assembly, I split up my haul from auto assembly into two separate videos. Similar sort of thing here. The reason being is because I want to go over my TFNation haul again, because I've already done it once in that video I did the other week. So I'm going to go over it again in a little bit more detail, I suppose, because now that I've got the figures out and messed with them, I've formed an opinion on them rather than just showing you the boxes like I did before. So yeah, I'm doing that. So this is the first of two videos you're going to be getting this weekend. This video today and tomorrow will be part two, when I'll do the second part of my haul for August. Obviously what you're going to be seeing today is the stuff I got before TFNation, the stuff I got on the Saturday of TFNation, and then tomorrow it will be the stuff I got on the Sunday at TFNation, and then everything I got after TFNation. Also, because this isn't the final video for this particular haul, you won't be seeing the gallery, or I won't be doing first and worst until the end of tomorrow's video. So today's video will just end with a quick outro, and then obviously you'll have to wait for tomorrow's video. So that's the way it's going to work. So anyway, right, so August, got a massive haul of stuff because I went to TFNation, obviously, but obviously I bought a few things outside of the convention, so let's get started on those. Right, so first things first. First thing to arrive on the 1st itself, which was a Friday, was now where did I get this from? I'd have to look in my book. Anyway, I think I ordered it at the back end of last month, and it arrived on the first day of this month. Another Age of the Primes 13 figure that has come out. I decided to buy it online before the convention, save picking it up at the convention, and did an unboxing video on him. So there we go. Age of the Primes, leader class, the 13, Oynx Prime. Now, Oynx Prime, the first beast former. Yes, he is the progniter of beast formers, and he's got technically 3 modes. He's got his robot mode, he's got like a centaur mode, and then he's got his like 6-legged dragon mode. Now, I've messed with this thing, and I personally find this guy quite easy to work with. He's quite simplistic because there's not many moves to get him from one form to the other. I mean, okay, he's got a lot going on, but he's not that difficult to do, actually. I mean, I found him quite easy to work out and to switch between the various modes. There's not, from the centaur mode to the dragon mode, it's just, you fold a few bits round, pull out an extra pair of legs, and Bob's your uncle. It's fairly straightforward. He does have a, like a good wingspan, so he can spread his wings out. He's a good figure. He's pretty good. Obviously, very, very brown and quite stylistic. He's got a lot of beast bits on him. He's got like hoofs for feet and digistruct legs, and he's actually got a tail which actually becomes a bow and arrow. So yeah, he's pretty cool. He comes with his staff, and he's a really good figure, and I'm quite impressed with him. Out of the Primes 13 figures I've got so far, he's all right. He's okay. Like I said, I'm not massively impressed with him because of how simplistic or how easy I found he is to work with. He looks a lot bigger and more impressive, but when you actually get into it and actually transform him, he's a lot more simplistic than I imagined. But that's not a strike against him. I'm just saying that I found him quite easy, to be honest. But anyway, so yeah, that was the first thing to arrive this month. Age of the Primes, leader class, the 13 Oynx Prime. He's pretty good, actually. Now the next thing to arrive. Yeah, I did an unboxing video and it was quite a long unboxing because it was kind of important. The next figure to arrive was a Holy Grail. A figure that I have been lusting after for many years. And I finally managed to get hold of one. Admittedly, it's a reissue. Earlier in the year, the company that made this announced that they was reissuing it, even though they'd said for many years that they was never going to do that, but they did. I managed to get in and get a reissue, buy the reissue, and it cost me a little bit more. Well, it cost me quite a bit more actually than what the original figure cost back in the day. But still a lot cheaper than buying an original figure at the horrendous, sort of, scalper premiums that they go for. Now I wanted this figure because it was the last figure I needed for my Masterpiece Dinobots set. So I've actually got them out and I've actually got them here. So just to show you. Right, so my first Masterpiece Dinobot I got was the original Masterpiece Grimlock. And this is the Toys R Us exclusive one. So I got that. Now this will be surprise quite a few people. My Masterpiece Swoop is this guy. Bull's Fire Airstrike. Now, messing with this thing to get it out of its box in order to do this, I've reminded myself how bad and what a piece of crap this figure is. It's bloody awful. But this figure was from Bull's Fire. It didn't last very. I mean, it was their first figure. They were going to do Masterpiece Dinobots. This thing is. It's a masterpiece of the G1 toy, is the best way to describe it. If you were to take the G1 toy and turn it into a masterpiece, this is basically what you'd get. It doesn't really match the toon aesthetic at all. And shortly after this came out, Fans Toys released their Saw figure, and it just blew this thing out of the water and basically ruined Bull's Fire overnight, and the company just disappeared without trace. This being the only figure that they've produced. It's not very good, to be honest, but I've got it as my Swoop. So that is my Masterpiece Swoop. Then I got this big Mama Jamma. Gigapower Gravitor. So I went for the Sludge. I decided to go for Gravitor because the Gigapower Masterpiece Dinobots are quite large, and Sludge I think should be easily as big as Grimlock because he turned into a well, whatever dinosaur he is, a Brontosaur, Brachiosaur, or whatever it is. He turns into a big sauropod, and he is big, and you'd expect him to be big. So that's why I went for the Gigapower one. And this is the shiny one with all the chrome bits on it. Very big, very heavy, quite expensive. In fact, I'm sure he's on my top 10 list of most expensive bots I bought. But I managed to get it off. I think I got it off. Did I get it off a guy off eBay? Oh, I think I did. Anyway, so I got him as my Masterpiece Sludge. And then I got Fans Toys Sever as my Snarl. So he's my Masterpiece Snarl. Really, really good figure. Really awesome. And that's him. So I got 4 out of the 5 Dinobots, and I needed a slag or a slug. And the one I settled on was the Perfect Fusion PF01 Cesium. Now the original one came out in 2017. It was a lot cheaper than the Fans Toys Scoria that came out, which is what it was basically a replacement for. Even though it was made by Fans Toys, it was sold under they didn't want to do a Scoria 2.0. Instead, they released it under a different pseudonym company called a Perfect Fusion, and they've since done that again with their Masterpiece Soundwave that they released under Robot Paradise, and then they've got their Ultra Magnus which they've released under Fantastic Model. So yeah, they've done it a few times. But the original figure came out in 2017. It had a lot less die cast on it than the original figure, so some people were critical of it. It was prone to breakage as well, and but it came out, it came and went, and then it just sold out. And then all of a sudden, people wanted to get it, and it just shot up in value. and it became, you know, hot property for scalpers, and it went for a ridiculous scalper premiums, and it was very rare and hard to find. And I've sort of passed on a couple, and I had this stigma about buying bots over £200, and I had a couple slip through my fingers that went just north of that amount, and so I wasn't able to get one. So anyway, long story short, back in February, the news went out, you know, Fans Toys was reissuing it, doing a 2025 reissue, and I thought, yeah, hell yeah, I'll get it. I managed to get mine from TF Direct, and it arrived on the 2nd of August, which was a Saturday. And here he is, my masterpiece Slag, aka Slug. I've wanted this fig for so many years. It was my holy grail, my holier than thou grail, the figure that I wanted above all others. Now, admittedly, this figure is a reissue, and it was readily available at a sensible price. So that, to some extent, has detracted slightly from its Grail status, because the original figure is like hellishly rare and ridiculously expensive. So, but I've got one, and I just needed it to complete my Dinobots. So now I've got all 5 of the Masterpiece Dinobots. Now my plan was, me being an awkward bugger that I am, was to get a different character from a different company, because there was enough people out there making Masterpiece Dinobots that you could have done that at a stretch, because technically this thing is a Fans Toys figure, even though it was Perfect Fusion. I mean, when you look at the packaging, it's got Perfect Fusion everywhere. There's no Fans Toys branded on it whatsoever. But still, I've got one. Holy Grail, baby. I got it. A figure that I've been after for so many years. I finally got one. And now I've got a complete set of Masterpiece Dinobots. So that's that. So that happened this month. Right, so now that was... oh yeah, there was one more thing that happened before TF Nation. You're going back into July, there was a couple of big conventions that went off in the USA and Canada. I think it was the TFCon Toronto, or it might have been the other one they had in America, where Hasbro did the that exclusive, that Timelines Hearts of Steel Bumblebee and Megatron 2-pack, and it was a convention exclusive. Now, I was jelly as all hell when I saw this, because I thought, oh no, they've made it a convention exclusive, I'm never going to be able to buy this figure, blah 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 blah. I was really jealous and upset about it. Anyway, at the beginning of the month, I happened to go onto my phone, went onto Hasbro Pulse, just doing a look for things, and sure enough, there was a thing on there saying pre-order for this figure is going to drop at 5-6 p.m. this evening. And I put a thing on my phone, thought, hell yes, I said, so I was there ready to pounce on it when the timer clicked down, and I managed to snag one, and they had them in stock, and they delivered them a few days later. So on the 6th, which was a Wednesday, I got my Hearts of Steel figures. Now, we'll start with Megatron. This is technically the main reason why I bought this, because I like to collect my Megatron Gunformers, and yes, Hasbro aren't going to do any more Megatron Gunformers, or Takara for that matter. But this guy transforms into an artillery gun, so technically it is a Gunformer. So I had to have it because of that reason. He's a decent little figure, reasonably, good transformation. He's got these massive spiky wheels. Okay, it's Hearts of Steel Megatron, so it's a different aesthetic. I mean, Hearts of Steel, I've got the trade paperback for Hearts of Steel. I got it in a comic lot. Brilliant story, excellently drawn. Megatron didn't actually appear in the original story, but they did show pictures of him in the back of the trade paperback. There's lots of pages of what ifs, sort of concept art of figures that they were planning on doing had the comic ran on a bit further. But yeah, so I wanted it for this guy, Hearts of Steel Timelines Megatron. And then it came with the Bumblebee. Now normally I wouldn't bother with Bumblebee, but I wanted to get this because I've got the third party one. So this is Mechanic Studios Centurion, and this is Timeline's Hearts of Steel Bumblebee. So there we go. Now, interesting little story. going on, something that happened at TFNation a couple of weeks ago. Now, I want to put out an apology. If you're watching, Rodimus Mimer and Tyrantron, aka Chris and Tim, on the Friday evening I was sat down at a table with these guys, and they had a table in front of them with a load of figures on them, including both the Hearts of Steel 2-packs. They had the Optimus and the Starscream, and they had the Megatron and the Bumblebee, and they had a few other figures on there as well. They had Sideways and a few figures. And I sat down and I had some of my Korean figures with me, and I plonked them on the table, and they had a good look at them. And then I took their Bumblebee off the table and started transforming it, because I hadn't actually messed with my figures. So it gave me a chance, because my figures were still sealed in a box back at home because I hadn't opened them yet. So this was my chance to get my hands on with the mould. But bearing in mind, it was the first time I'd actually touched one of these moulds. I had messed with this mould before, which is broadly similar in a lot of ways, but not the same. I started transforming it. And then in the back, when I was trying to stuff the arms and the head into the back, I probably did the wrong order of operation in doing it, and I got the thing jammed up. I got the arms and the head all jammed up solid, and I was struggling with it. And then Rodimus Minor came over and he had a look. He said, "Oh, you got this thing stuck." So he grabbed it and took it over to Toys R Us, and he managed to unjam it, and he came back. And yeah, so that happened at TFNation. Now, I want to say a sincere apology to Chris and Tim, aka Rodimus Minor and Tyrantron. Sorry for taking the figure off your table without the proper permission, and then proceeding to mess about with it and get it jammed up. So I'm really, really sorry about that. Like I said, in my defence, it's my first hands-on with the mould. I didn't know what I was doing. I was making it up as I went along. I got the order of operation wrong. I got it jammed up. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm really sorry. So there you go. There's a public apology from me to you. I hope we're cool. So that happened at TFNation. So, and when I got home and transformed it, I had no trouble whatsoever. It was like butter. It was like done. It was easy. So yeah, that was the reason. Another reason why I bought this 2-pack was because I wanted the comparison with these two figures. So that happened. So that was all the stuff from before TFNation. So right. So yeah, I rolled up at the convention on the Friday the 8th. Got booked into the room. Went down to the merch table when I signed in to get my tickets, and then I went round to the merch table because I pre-booked some merch, and I got the tour T-shirt. So for this year, for 2025. Obviously Scott McNeil couldn't make it because of health issues, which was unfortunate, but there we go, got that. And also yeah, so in the bar Friday night, I sat down at a table and got my Korean toys out and put them on there, and people came round and started looking at them and saying, "What's that? Oh, that's that, this, that, and the other." And then I was sort of sat between Chris McFeely and who's the other guy? Anyway, Jim Sorensen. That was it. Jim Sorensen and Chris McFeely. Right, I was sat between those guys, and then this other guy came over and started talking to, I think it was Jim Sorensen, and his name was Andy from TF Raw, and he's a bit of a sort of like a media archivist of Transformers media, I think, on YouTube. He's got his own channel, and anyway, he sat down, and Jermaine was there as well, and then he gropes in his bag and he pulls out some plastic folders and sort of hands them out to us. So I got this as a freebie from Andy. It's basically it's like an art pack. It's got some reprints of Transformers, sort of like art sketches. It's got this trailer for the Japanese Bumblebee movie. and it's also got like a Transformers animated Japanese DVD ROM in there. I don't know, I've not actually looked at it, but anyway, he handed me that for free, so thanks Andy for handing me that. It's always good to get freebies. And that was the Friday, and of course obviously I got that thing happened with the the Hearts of Steel Bumblebee incident happened on the Friday night as well. Now moving into the Saturday, the first dealer room day. I took my usual amount of money, and I didn't pay for early access. Now I actually paid for Club Com, but didn't actually do Club Com at all, so it was a complete waste of money. So maybe next year I won't do Club Com, but I will do early access. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. Early access is, how much is it? Is it 35 quid? It's quite a lot of money to get you in probably an hour early. Yes, you can get first dibs on what's on sale, and especially certain figures do disappear very quickly. I mean, the in-demand store had certain limits of certain figures on their store that just got snapped up very quickly, and then there's prize pickups on the toy food table as well, which gets snatched up really quick. So if you want to get the good, you want to be the early bird that gets the worm, then pay for early access. But I didn't want to do it this year. Anyway, so I waited my turn to go in, and then I eventually got in, and I went straight over to in demand and started looking on the rack to see what they'd got, and started picking up a few things. Starting off with Age of the Primes Deluxe Combaticon Vortex. Sorry. Yeah, so I decided to get him. I was on the fence about getting into one of these combiners for Age of the Primes. I mean, obviously they're doing Superion. They've started doing figures for Onslaught, Bruticus. Sorry, I have now finally taken the plunge and going in on the Studio Series 86 Devastator. But I know they're supposed to be doing. What else are they supposed to be doing? But anyway, so they announced they were doing Bruticus. I don't mind Bruticus. I've got a few Bruticuses in my collection. I've got the Combiner Wars one. I decided, yes, sod it. I'm going to go for the Age of the Primes one. So I got Vortex. This figure itself has got a few issues. It's very bland in its alt mode and robot mode, but then again, Vortex in the original show he was just a grey helicopter. He wasn't very flashy, and this reflects that. I don't like the fuselage kibble on the back of the arms. I really don't like that. That's not good. In helicopter mode he's got some unsightly gaps. I'm not that impressed with him, to be honest. He's all right. It's Vortex. I am going to get Bruticus, so I'm going to buy into the Bruticus combiner. So I got him. Then next, I got Studio Series Transformers 1 Deluxe B127 Bumblebee. So it's the Studio Series, Transformers 1 Bumblebee. Decided to get this. I'm not a massive fan of Bumblebee really, but I do like to get deluxe Bumblebee molds from the movies because he's had such a proliferation of molds over the years since the Bayverse came out, and I just think it's good to have a comparison of all the different versions of the deluxe Bumblebee. So I didn't have a Transformers 1 Bumblebee, and I suppose I want to get the main cast from Transformers 1, so I needed a Bumblebee, so I decided to get this one. It's an okay figure, it's alright. It transforms into that Cybertronian car he's got. He comes with some accessories. It's a decent enough figure. So I got him. Then Age of the Primes Deluxes. Starting with Excellion. Yeah, I've got Hotshot. Decided to get Excellion, even though it's a repaint of a mold I've already got. I have got the original Excellion, which I picked up at the... Did I get it at the Minicon in Manchester? I think I did. And I got the Legends one as well. So, I did. Yeah, I got it off Toy Foo. That was it. I bought it off Toy Foo. So I have got the original version of this. So I decided to get this version. It looks pretty cool. Very much an analogue for for hot rod, I suppose, especially in alt mode. The red car, it's actually got painted wheels. It's cool. It's cool. It's a red repaint of Hotshot from Cybertron, so that's pretty good. And another interesting Cybertron figure, Sideways. Now, I've got the original figure in my collection somewhere. I got it as part of the Tom Henson bot lot, as I recall. Really good figure for the time. This is an update of that figure, and to be honest, if you put I've seen loads of videos where people have been doing the direct comparisons between the two, and there's not a lot in it, to be honest. The original toy transforms all in one with no parts forming, and it's got all the gimmicks. This figure has a bit of parts forming for the transformation, but it's got all the articulation, so it swings and roundabouts. But in terms of aesthetic, they look virtually identical. The styling, the sizing is very, very similar. There's not really any need to get this if you've got the original, I would say, but I decided to get it because I wanted to do the comparison. It's a great little figure. It kind of has, it's got a planet key which doesn't do anything. You can do the faction change, so you can do that. So it has got the gimmick, even though it's not, you know, it's not automatic with this Cyber Planet key like the original figure. It's all right. It's cool. It's really, really cool. It's missing a few paint apps. The original toy's got a few sort of like green paint apps. It's also got epic light piping as well. So that's another thing the original toy's got on this. But apart from that, it's an okay figure. And like I said, I decided to get it. I got it. It's fine. It's perfectly good. But, you know, it's so close to the original. It's uncanny. It really is. So, yeah, decided to get that. And I got that as well. And then when I went round to the in-demand sort of pay table to pay for those purchases, I looked down and they had a bunch of Generation Selects boxes on the table. And I took a quick scan. They were all like with the names facing up. I had a quick scan and I saw one. I thought, ooh, ooh. Now this is one of the figures that I bought at the convention, which is a bit of a rarity, and I'm surprised other people didn't snag it before I did. There's a couple of those at this convention. Anyway, I saw it. I picked it up. I was a bit unsure about the number of the figure, so I got my phone out, put in the details. You know, Generation Selects, War for Cybertron, GS06, Hotshot, and checked it out. Yeah, sure enough, it's the one I wanted. So I got this guy. Yes, it's a repaint of the Siege Hound mould as Hotshot. It works really well. The original figure, when it came out back in the day, it sold out pretty quick, and you try getting hold of one now online. It's rare as hen's teeth and hellishly expensive. Now I paid, is it 50 quid for this? Was it 50? Which is a lot of money for a deluxe. But I knew for a fact that if I had to buy this online, I'd be paying a lot more than that. And the reason why I wanted it is because IDW Transformers, Wreckers, Treads and Circuits, that 5-part comic book they brought out in the final days of the IDW comic. Pretty cool. The Wreckers team, they go to the planet Velocitron as a security detail for the running of the Velocitron 500. Because there's been threats of sabotage and terrorism by the that Decepticon group. That's what's their name? I can't remember. Anyway, but his version in that comic is this guy, so I kind of wanted it for that reason. So I got him. He's pretty cool, quite rare, hard to find, and expensive. Scalper premium for this guy, but I managed to get it at TFNation in demand. Had it on their stall as a Generation Select box, Generation Select. So yeah, I got in there and snagged it. I'm surprised no one else noticed it, but this was early doors on the Saturday morning, so maybe not enough people had paid much attention to those Generation Selects boxes to figure out what gem was actually hiding in there. So I got those, and also I got a freebie. Now, in-demand do this at conventions. I've had this before, where you've spent a lot of money with them, and then they throw in a freebie into your bag to sweeten the deal a little bit. A couple of years ago, they were giving out the decals, weren't they? They were giving out those faction symbols from repro labels or toy hacks. Then another year they was handing out sort of core class figures that they've been shelf warming in their shops. They was handing them out to people who made major purchases. Same at this convention. So I bought a couple of bots, which was quite a lot of money. So they handed me one of these. It's the flip and change Transformers 1 cog changer Bumblebee. He's got his spark, and it's it's that usual sort of butterfly sort of flip and change thing. It's neither here nor there really. So I've got two Bumblebees. Well, 3 Bumblebees if you can count as hearts. No, I've got that before TFNation. But I've got 2 Transformers 1B 127 Bumblebees at this convention. But that was a freebie that In-Demand gave me. And then there was that. So then moving along. Right. So next, went over to Primetime Toys. Had a look on Primetime Toys. Their selection wasn't as broad as I thought it was going to be. They were a bit short on a few on the Legends side, especially like they had quite a lot of Doctor Who stuff, but they didn't have much New Age stuff. I was kind of hoping they'd have New Age Lincoln, but they didn't. But anyway, I was looking around down the Legends side of the table, and there was a few things there that sort of took the fancy. And one of them was this guy. DX9 Mini 03 Matthew Axleson, or their version of Headmaster Brainstorm. Now, I've got the Unique Toys Palm Collection Brainstorm. The bot is okay. The ship mode, it looks like it's made out of Lego bricks. It's very blocky. This thing, similar sort of deal. Robot mode looks great. The transformation is, how can I put this? Way more difficult or complicated than it needs to be is the best way to describe the transformation on this. It's got too many twists and turns for its own good. And the ship you end up with it's very, very blocky. So yeah, it's got some looseness about it. But it's DX9. I like DX9 stuff. I've got the DX9 Mini Chrome Dome. If they do any more of the Headmasters in this scale, I will get them, especially Weird Wolf and Skullcruncher. Definitely in for getting those because I character mold set collect those figures. Same as I do for Brainstorm. Another thing, notice it's in the Takara colours. It's got the black wings with the mouth plate rather than the face plate. That's the Takara Headmasters version, not the Western version. The it's the same. The Unique Toys one is the same. So yeah, like I said, the transformation's not great on this thing, and the ship you end up with isn't fantastic either. So yeah, it's not a fantastic thing, but I was going to get it anyway because of Brainstorm. So I got that. Then I also picked up one of these. It's the Mechanic Studios MF37D Giant Axe, or their version of Autobot Triple Changer broadsides, or broadside. Yeah, there's a couple of these coming out. There's this one, and Doctor Who are supposed to be doing a smaller one as well. I will be interested in getting that. I managed to pick up a Beta G1 broadside from Rowan's Corner at, was it the Minicon or was it the TFUK Con? I can't remember. one of those conventions. I picked it up. Interesting figure, complete and utter brick of a figure, but then this one comes out. I transformed it in the bar on Saturday night. Same with this guy. When I was sat down in the bar on Saturday night, I got these guys out and transformed them. This guy's quite complex. He's got quite a lot going on. Pretty good. I kind of like it. Don't know whether that's around the wrong way. Anyway, it's a decent enough figure. It's pretty cool. I'm glad I got it. He's all right. And like I said, I am hoping to get the Doctor Wu one as well later on. Even though Doctor Wu did have a hand in designing this, because it was Mechanic Studios and Doctor Wu that went in to design this. But Doctor Wu is doing his own version. So that was cool. Right. And then I wandered around, went over to Kapow, looking at their sort of third-party offerings on the end of their table. And there was a particular large figure. In fact, it was the most expensive thing I bought at the convention. And it's a figure that, a character that I like to collect. I've got other versions of it from the same toy line. And yeah, so there was 2 different versions of it. There was a convention exclusive one that came out at one of the conventions previously. That was 200 quid. And all it had was a few blue paint apps on it, and I think it had a few extra bits thrown in as well. But then the regular version was only 135 quid, but it was still the most expensive thing I bought at the convention. Mastermind Creations Reformatted R53 Tyrantron Rise. So it's IDW Stormbringer Megatron, I think, from the earlier run of the IDW comics. This thing is awesome. Look at that. Mastermind Creations. So it is fiddly and quite complex to transform, but being Mastermind Creations, it's fairly intuitive. You can figure it out with enough time. I managed to transform this guy into his tank mode in about 30-35 minutes. I transformed this guy back into his robot mode for the sake of doing this video. I did struggle with a few bits, but it's still a great figure. I mean, I do like G1 Megatron, even when he doesn't turn into a gun. You know, as long as it's got that aesthetic with the the curly chest hairs, the silver, these little vents here, the red bits, and I love it. I love it. So I had to get this. I've got the other Tyrantron down there that turns into that massive great drill tank, but that's got the minor, the parts where you can do like the IDW version or the minor version or the Lost Light version. But yeah, so I got this. Most expensive figure I bought at the convention. Really cool figure. Typical Mastermind Creations reformatted. Get in there. And then I went over to see my mate James Lai, Maximil of Toys. So apparently this is going to be James' last TFNation from what I've heard or what he's told me. He probably won't be doing it next year, but so I decided to make a show of buying some stuff off his stall, which I did so over the course of the weekend. So on the Saturday, it was Saturday morning actually, because I was all spent up by about 11:30. All my budget for Saturday was gone by about 11:30. So anyway, so I went in to see my mate James, was perusing around his stall, and I spotted a couple of things, and I made a play. The first thing was this. Now I transformed it into its alt mode. Now this is XZHS Studios GDW01B Ultra Maxmas, and it is a fourth party reissue of the G Creations GDW01B Darkness Maxmas. So James Lai had it in his stall. It was sealed box, 70. Well, I got it for about 74 quid. I think I paid for it. Now, Alt mode looks really cool. Again, IDW Optimus mould, but Nemesis version. I love my Nemesis Primes, you know that. Paint it black with some teal on, I'm all on board. So transformed it. Robot mode looks pretty cool. It's got that IDW aesthetic from sort of the mid IDW runs. I can't remember what version of IDW Optimus it's supposed to be, but anyway. However, transformation. Oh my god. I reckon it must have took me best part of an hour and a half to transform this thing from robot into truck mode. I'm not joking. It is one of the worst transformational experiences I've had in my life. It is horrible to transform this thing. It's awful. Now, I don't know whether that's down to the fact that this is a KO of the G Creations original. I've never handled the G Creations original, so this is my first hands-on with the mould. I would say there's a bit of, you know, KO-ness about this thing. You know, the fit and finish on some of the parts isn't quite premium, you know, and some of the materials they've used aren't the best quality, blah blah blah. It's got a lot of parts and panels on this thing, and it is an absolute nightmare to get it all scrunched in to form this alt mode. It was a hateful experience, it really was. And it's still not quite perfect. I mean, that windscreen isn't quite pegging in properly. But I managed it, I got it into alt mode, and now that it's in alt mode, it's staying in alt mode because I do not want to transform it back to robot mode, so bollocks to that shit. Yeah. It forms a robot that's yay big. It's a big bot, and it's very articulated, but did it have to be that complex? I know it's to get the, you know, accurate looking alt mode, accurate looking robot mode, and then it's all the jiggery pokery that goes in between. It was a thing. Anyway, so I bought this, but like I said, it has not impressed me, this thing. It looks great when it's in either of its two modes, but the transformation is hellish. It really is. It's awful. It's terrible. And so I bought that. And then another thing I saw on his stall. Now, I've got a thing for Armada Megatron, and I've always hankered after a Armada Galvatron, and I couldn't make my mind where to get one from, whether to get an original one, whether to get the Legacy one, Legacy United one, or get the third party masterpiece one that's coming from Fans Hobby. So there's those choices, but my choice was made for me when I was browsing James's stall. I picked this thing up. Yeah. Hang on. There you go. Yeah, Armada Galvatron. James I had it on his stall, and like I said, it was about with this thing. I bought the two together, and I paid, I think it was like just under 75 quid for this, and I think it was around about 35, 38 quid for this, or whatever it was. He gave me a little bit of money off, James being a mate. So I got this for around about 35 quid off Maxmas store. Decided to get this version. The colours on this is what really makes it. I mean, the lilac, the dark maroon, the black, and the off-white. It just colours on the Galvatron version just pop so hard. The original Megatron version is good, don't get me wrong, but these colours just pop so much harder. It's a bit dusty, it's a bit dirty, could probably do with a good clean. He's got his antlers. The missile doesn't seem to fire, don't know why, it's just a random missile someone's jammed in there. I don't think it's the original one. And he does come with his Minicon Clench, which is just a repaint of Leader 1. Yeah, it's a good figure. I largely bought it for the colours, even though I don't think the colours on this particular toy pop quite as hard as they should do. That's probably because it's aged a bit and it's probably faded a little bit, and also, like I said, it's a little grubby as well. So That's probably well, it's hurting itself. I don't know whether the electronics work. I haven't decided to put any batteries in it to see if the electronics work, but got him from James Light, Maxmas and Toys. And then my last figure that I got, went round the dealer hall a couple of times. I only had a couple of quid left, and I went over to Junk Shop Japan USA. I asked them their name because last year they were called Junk Shop Japan, but this year it was Japan/USA. They had a lot of Western stuff, loose stuff on the stall. Didn't have so much boxed Japanese originals on the back, but anyway, I went on there. I was looking at a one-step Earthspark Swindle. I was looking at that. Was a pretty neat figure. It was 20 quid though for a one-stepper. For 20 quid, it's like no. And then I looked on the back and I saw a figure and I thought, I could do with another one of those. Henkei Legends Cosmos. Now, I've got two of them. So this is the original one I bought a number of years ago. I'm not sure. I think I could bought it at TFNation. Or it might have been, I think it was TFNation. Might have been Rollout Roll Call. I don't know. Anyway, I got that. Now the reason I bought this figure is because when Henkei thingy transforms, he turns into a flying saucer, which it transforms into an almost perfect wheel. And so you'd have to trim a few bits off, but it transforms into a wheel. And there is a character from the Marvel G1 comic who actually transformed into a wheel, G1 Scrounge. And I had it in my head to get one of these and do a custom on it into G1 Scrounge. Now, I bought the original toy with the intention of doing that, but then I thought, it's a Henkei, it's a Japanese original, I don't want to ruin it to do this. And I found a KO upscaling of this mould that I was going to do the custom with, but the quality on it was so bad. I just didn't want to touch it, So I had this and I didn't want to ruin this by customizing it, but now I've got a new one, or another one that's in slightly better nick than the original one I got. This one is now, I'm going to try and customise it into G1 Scrounge. Now, there's been many times over the years where I've said I'm going to do a custom and I don't, because I'm all talk, no trousers, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, now that I've got this, there's an emphasis for doing it. Obviously, I'm going to have to get all the paintwork off it. I'm going to have to modify the head, cut the tail fin off, and then paint it up to look like Scrounge, and it should work. There is a precedence for this because I've got an aftermarket Transformers comic which featured Scrounge in it in that alt mode. So yeah, I've got a precedence for it. But anyway, there we go. That's part one of my Transformers haul for August. That's all there is. So part two will be coming tomorrow. Tomorrow it will be the Sunday, the stuff I bought on the Sunday at TFNation, and then all the stuff I bought after TFNation. So that's the video that will be airing tomorrow. This video's run out for 50 minutes. If I'd have carried on, we're probably looking at a video that would be 1 hour 45 minutes, 2 hours long. This is the reason why I've split them up into two separate videos, to just to make it a little bit more palatable. This video will have chapter marks on it like I always put on my haul videos, so you can skip through if you want to see certain things. But hopefully you've watched this video. There is no gallery or no first and worst on this video because that will be coming at the end of tomorrow's video. So with that said, I've been TFR Wilderness. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you tomorrow with part two. Ta-da!